So if your students are not capitalizing their sentences, they're not putting periods, they are not using grammar when they're doing their own writing, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Robin Mellum. I'm a children's book author and I am a middle school instructional coach. I have a writing program called the Structured Writers Workshop based on everything that I learned as a children's book author, and then I applied it to my program with my students and had phenomenal success. So check it out below if you want some more information on that. I want to talk about when the kids are not using grammar correctly all the time. It can be kind of frustrating and we can feel like there's something that I'm missing. But I want to give you a little bit of a pep talk today, and it's going to be different. I'm not going to share my screen. We're actually going to go to desk mode to go over. We're going to start with number 1, of course. And that is that I want you to think about basketball. And I talk about this a lot in my training that I do, and it's linked below if you want to check it out. But I talk about when you go into basketball practice, and let's suppose that the kids are all supposed to be doing layouts. No, layups. I'm the worst. So they're supposed to be doing a bunch of layups, right? But when you watch them, they're not hitting their baskets, and you turn to somebody and you say, oh no, they're doing all these layups, but they're not hitting the basket every time. And what will they tell you? They'll say, well, they need to do more of them. They need to do repetition. They need to be able to see, like, if they do it in this certain way, that they're going to get that feeling of, this is awesome. I can't stop doing this. So let's apply that to the writing world. And where does repetition come into play as far as your ELA class? So you're going to have repetition in your morning warm-ups or your first thing when they come into the class type of warm-ups. And in mine, they have to do they do 3 tasks. So the first task that they do is sentence combining. And this one is where I tell them, this must be perfect in order to get your sticker or your point and move on from there. The reason why I tell them it needs to be perfect is because there's a part in here that does not have to be perfect, and they love that. So after they do the sentence combining, it's just creating a compound or complex sentence. Then they'll do test prep. It's 1 question, multiple choice, and they have the same topic for the entire week so that they can get to mastery by Friday. And then the third one is a quick write. And this is where now they're going to start taking all the skills that they've been learning in Writer's Workshop, and they're going to start applying it organically to whatever it is that they would like to write about with this image that they see. And this is oftentimes where we see there is no punctuation, there's no grammar or anything. Don't worry about it, is what I'm telling you. I am saying that later you can hold them accountable by having them submit. So one of these could be graded each semester or each quarter or whatever you want to do. Pick one of them that they're going to rewrite. And that's where they have to make sure that they're going to include all of that perfect grammar and punctuation. And so now let's look at across the curriculum. So it's not just writing time. You're doing some kind of response to literature, or maybe you also teach history or science. And you could have them do CER writing for all topics, even math. They can make a claim and give some evidence and some reasoning as to why they solved something that way. And I would use the same mentality where they are going to always draft first. So really lean into the fact that that's what authors do. They always draft. Nothing comes out perfect that first time. That's weird. No one would do that. We're humans. Come on. So they're going to draft it first. And then when they've done that, what you can do is you could say, okay, I want you to count the number of periods in your paragraph or so. And doing this, it kind of forces them, like they have to put the number up there too. And that's when you can say, that's really not cool. You can't have a 5-paragraph or a 5-sentence response that only has 2 periods in it, right? So that kind of gives them a clue, like, oh, I need to go back in and switch some of these things around. You could also give them a checklist of at the end where you have them count the periods, they count the capital letters. whatever it is that you're really, really looking for, have them go and find it in there and give you some numbers, give you some stats on it. It keeps them accountable for it. So now I want to get into when they are working on their essays. What are you going to do when you happen to notice that they aren't using capital letters and all the stuff, quotation marks, all that? I use something called a yellow box method, and I have the students draft their essay. And then when they are ready to get my feedback, meaning help on how to set this all up, okay, let's say this is their essay, da 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 da, looks like that. They get to select one big paragraph that I will tightly edit for them. So I do not grade, I don't edit a whole entire paper. This kind of helps them apply what they see in this one paragraph to the other parts. So they take a yellow pen, or you can do this digitally, and they select which paragraph. It's called the yellow box method. It doesn't have to be yellow. It could be whatever you want. And then this is the one that they'll get feedback on. And then I will go either do it by hand, or I will go into Google Docs and put my comments in here, where I'll say you need to capitalize, you need to do this, da, da, da. And then I have certain phrases like global that teach them that they need to take this, that I'm noticing it in other parts of their essay. So be sure to take what I've done here and apply it to the rest of the essay. That's where the learning happens. So I strongly suggest do not edit an entire paper for them. Have them pick the one that they want the most help on, and then do a hard edit on that. I have another video where I talk about this yellow box method in detail. So I'm going to link to it up here. So go check that one out so you can see how I grade my essays when they're in the middle of it. And I will see you in the next one.